Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're building a small cottage on this 8x8 platform. So as it's getting warm outside, I want to build something for spring. So this build is going to be in the seasonal playlist. So I started with a very general idea. I wanted to build a small cottage with lots of blooming flowers on this platform. So to those who are new to the channel, I built it this way because it's a bit more challenging because you don't have that much space. And as you guys probably know, we don't have any lots in the game that are smaller than 15 by 10, I think is the smallest one, which still feels a bit too big for tiny homes in my opinion. So I would appreciate it if they would start adding like 10 by 10 lots or maybe 8 by 8 lots or even 5 by 5 lots, which would be nice for build challenges or also very small builds where you don't want to do a lot of landscaping. So with this build I thought about making it even smaller, like 8 by 6, but then I added a garden area which we'll see in a minute. So because I built this on the platform, I couldn't use any terrain paint and therefore I had to use different types of flooring with like natural patterns, for example the gravel here. So I wanted the house to be bright but a bit more neutral, so I used different shades of gray and a bit of white. And the star in this build are the wallflowers. As you can see, I used a lot of them, really a lot. And I really like how the pink pops with the more neutral background. I think it was the right decision. So when I started adding the flowers, I also thought about adding some blue ones as well. So pink and maybe pastel blue or a very light turquoise. But it was a bit much and I decided to go with the pink. And I think this was the right decision because it looks a bit cleaner. So because this is stop motion, you can see the individual steps here and how I was struggling to make this work. But let me assure you, this took me way longer than I expected. And I actually started recording this as a stop motion, but the video got very long for such a small build, so I decided it would be better to have a stop motion video instead of speed build. By the way, let me know in the comments below if you prefer speed builds or stop motions, or if you don't care. I try to have some variation in my uploads because I understand that different people prefer different types of videos, and therefore it's also clear that you can't make a video that appeals to everyone. I also wanted to ask you guys if you prefer smaller builds like this one, or if you would be more interested in seeing really big builds like a mansion. I've shown you guys some of my bigger builds in the community tab, but I think I never finished one of the really big builds except for the contemporary mansion, which was one of my very early videos, so the quality is not great and has no commentary. But if you want to check out the build or download it, I'm going to link the video somewhere on the screen and also in the description below. I'm still very proud of this mansion because I feel like I'm not very good at building modern stuff, and this kind of forced me to get a bit out of my comfort zone. But I still prefer building things like this cottage here. So as you can see, the cottage itself is almost finished and I just added a small garden area here. By the way, if you want this in your game, you can download it from the gallery. My ID is in the description below as always. The build is playtested and fully functional, so you can use it as it is or delete the platform if you don't like it. And this way the build would also qualify as a tiny home if you have tiny living. And this way it would also get all the perks for living in a tiny home. So here we have a small outside sitting area, which I think looks very nice. I want to utilize all the space and get as many details in there as possible. So this is the kitchen area, which is not in a so convenient spot because it's next to the door. But this was the only space I could fit the kitchen in, and I want to have a full kitchen, as you can see here. This house was kind of hard to furnish on the first floor because we have so many windows and doors here, but it worked out. There's everything your Sims need and everything is functional. The house doesn't have a living room because there was simply no space. And I feel like a house this small doesn't really need a living room. But if you really needed more seating accommodations, you can always replace the dining table with a larger one. There is a larger version of this one. So this is the last room, the bedroom, and of course there's only a single bed in here because there's not enough space for a double bed. So the whole build is intended for a single Sim. So that's the end of today's video. We're gonna check out the finished build in a second. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing if you're new to the channel. See you guys next time. Peace out.